This artist presentation introduces Jenny Holzer, who's an American conceptual and installation artist. Her work deploys text in public spaces across an array of media, including electronic and LED signs, billboards, and projections on buildings. Closely aligned with the feminist art movement, Holzer's work provokes public debate and illuminates social and political injustice. So, a bit of background information about Jenny Holzer is that she was born on July 29th, 1950, and she's an American neo-conceptual artist based in Hoosick, New York. And neo-conceptualism can be defined as a movement or style in which emphasis is given to the concept behind a work of art, frequently through the use of unconventional or incongruous media. What's very neo-conceptual about her work is that she uses a bunch of LED lights and a bunch of other digital technology that isn't really used in the artist world, and she's one of the many few artists who basically uses this type of media. I got a quote which basically summarizes the reason why she makes this type of artwork. So she basically says that she thinks about bleak stuff and the world keeps serving up war, terror, murder, totalitarianism, sex, kindness, and the most astounding beauty that needs reporting. So how does Holzer use technology in her art? The LED signs she mostly incorporates in her work uses the same technology that transmits dates, speeds, temperatures, and other impersonal information in public spaces. So when you see a digital sign in a subway or in the billboards of New York, she's basically using the same digital aspects of those technologies for her artwork. She also places her work in common areas where you would see LED signs and stuff like that. So at first glance, her artwork could easily be mistaken for like an electronic signboard that's transmitting public announcements, directions, or advertisements. However, her statements will draw attention to social injustices such as sexism and homelessness, rather than the everyday information we see on public signs. So, what does she intend to communicate in her art? Well, she mostly communicates private thoughts, which of many may be deemed as inappropriate in a polite conversation. So, she mostly touches the physical and mental aspects of violence and trauma, such as abuse of power within the government, sexual assault, poverty, abortion, sexism, and war. She also addresses that she does not see many young people addressing social, ecological, or economic circumstance through art today. So her art gives us a variety of perspectives, beliefs, and biases which prompt everyone to choose which messages to agree with or discard, which overall highlights that the truth is relative, not absolute. So my thoughts on Holzer is that I think she's so admirable for being a political activist as well as an artist, and I think her work is very successful, in which I feel more interested in these topics since they're so direct. Her profound skepticism toward power and her courage to speak out against uncomfortable topics allow the public to make them debate and think more critically about the bleak aspects of society, whether they agree with her or not. I also don't think that her platforms and display for political protest is not for her self-gain or to become super well-known and famous, for she prefers her work to be prioritized rather than her identity to become well-known. She once said the quote, "There's someone pretending to be me on Twitter, but at least they're using my stuff. I like when my work is anonymous and public." Some questions I have for Holzer is how long does it take to construct these type of installations, especially the huge ones alongside buildings or alongside staircases or in like huge public transport places. And I wonder if she works on other projects in the meantime or if she just focuses on one project at a time, since these projects seem very grand to me, since they involve a bunch of construction and a lot of intricate planning. But considering the fact that she has so many works done, especially some that are not digital, I feel like she tackled a bunch of projects all at once at the same time. So I placed her on this part of the axis because I think that her work is mostly entirely physical, but some of her text-based art and installations are often changed or moved around. They are mostly documented and can be mostly found online on her website, which is easily accessible to everyone on the internet, and that's basically how I found her. However, I feel like I should move the dot closer to the applied art section on the left, since she communicates and goes against a lot of traditional rules in the art world, in which she uses a bunch of LED lights to talk about uncomfortable subjects that obviously provide a lot of meaning. This is the link to her website, and it's basically organized into all her different types of artwork that she does, like exhibitions, LEDs, and projections that I'll show you in a second. But right now I'm just briefly showing you the LED section. So these are some examples of her projections that she's done, and one of my favorites is the one that says, "Abuse of power comes as no surprise." I'll basically end off this presentation on some video examples of her work.